Hey, time for our day 8 debrief. Got some interesting stuff going on. So they're on the run, and Pony Boy kind of has these swirling emotions. He's not even sure why he's crying, but there's a lot going on. It's a lot to process. Sometimes so much happens to you that you can't really get through it in real time. It takes time to kind of sort through those sort of things and figure out what you're feeling and deal with all your emotions. And sometimes your system just kind of short circuits and you just don't feel it for a while, and then you have to deal with it later. But the guys kind of argue, sort of have a fight of sorts, and then they're calm, and Pony Boy says we feel like we could take on whatever now, whatever was coming. So they're settling in, kind of preparing for what's ahead of them, though they don't really know what that's going to look like. And they're reading Gone with the Wind, and um, I think I mentioned this in another debrief, but I feel like that's important. He Pony Boy is kind of taken with the gallant Southern gentleman, saving the day, having protecting their honor, having these values where they, stood up for other people. That seems important. Maybe some foreshadowing, maybe an indicator of some of the things he's dealing with. I don't think we should overlook that in the book, Gone with the Wind, and the movie too, incidentally, we've got people protecting a way of life and failing and their world burning around them. The climactic scene of Gone with the Wind is Atlanta being burned as Sherman's army marches to the sea. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's there on purpose. I don't think S.E. Hinton just put that in for kicks. So for what it's worth, keep an eye on that. But the key of this, and it's really part of the heart of the book. The book doesn't resonate. It doesn't come through in the end without this scene. It's been well set up. We've seen the signs, but these two boys, from a rough neighborhood, they are raised, trained to be tough, and they're watching the dawn and just talking about how beautiful it is, and Ponyboy's reciting a poem, and Johnny is like interpreting it. I mean, if you're a typical middle schooler, interpreting poetry is hard. It takes a lot of brain power. You have to really relate to the poet and think about where they're coming from. That's why we work so hard at my school on the SALT analysis. Message me if you need to hear more about that, or put something in the comments. But I mean, that really drives home the point that these are not your normal tough hood guys. They're possible scholars in another life with different parents and a different setting. What if Johnny had parents who cared about him and valued education? What if Pony's parents had lived and been able to really support all the brothers in school? What would they look like? What if they didn't have constant money troubles and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I think that's there to help us really see all the signs that we've been picking up on, that Pony Boy doesn't fit in, uh, is 100% on target. And it turns out Johnny as well he's just not cut out for that. But that's his lot. That's where he was born. That's who he has. He didn't get to choose any of that. But we see that they are just not like the other guys. And then, of course, Dally shows up, which there is, it's a welcome break from the monotony of their card playing and reading and smoking. And he has a letter from Soda Pop. That's an emotional moment. But what now? Where does the story go from here? What do you think is going to happen? Are they going to keep hiding out? Are they going to go be on the run? Will they go home and deal with whatever's going on? That's what I want you to think about. And we'll find out soon. Thanks for joining me.